The union of Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young has always been a fragile one. Working together in different configurations was sometimes a function of certain members being busy with other endeavors, but often bitter disagreements have led to a shuffling of the cards, hence Crosby-Nash, Crosby-Stills and Nash, Stills-Young, and when things are harmonious, Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young. We'll share a few stories, but first make sure you're subscribed to this channel and hit the notifications button so that you'll receive our latest videos. They've written songs about each other to air their grievances, and at the worst, their mercurial personalities boil over and they clash with their fellow peers. Here are 7 times that Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young got into tense territory and occasionally violence. Let's start with a fun one. It's the summer of 1969, and David Crosby and Stephen Stills are in the kitchen arguing about turtles and how long they could survive underwater. As David Brown's CSNY book tells the tale, things got dark that same summer, with Stills screaming at Crosby in the driveway. But here's the thing, disagreements like this were so routine that onlookers would rarely bat an eye, noting that the group would always play expertly after one of their blowouts, as if they were kissing and making up in song. The Grateful Dead's Mickey Hart was collaborating with Stephen Stills on the album that would become 1972's Rollin Thunder and suggested that maybe they should wrap things up. Stills allegedly grabbed a Bowie knife and snarled at Hart, "Don't you ever tell me to stop, this music is incredible." A similar Bowie knife-related incident reportedly ended the friendship between Stills and Keith Richards when the pair pulled knives on each other backstage at a 1972 Rolling Stones concert in Denver. In December of 1974, on the tail end of the CSNY Doom Tour, the band went into the studio to attempt to record new material. It didn't go well. Stills and Nash got into a coke-fueled argument over a single harmony note, and eventually, Stills ended up in the basement, threatening to cut up the tape of the recordings. Even though they were playing in front of substantial crowds, the Stills-Young tour in 1976 was plagued with difficulties from the start. Because they were touring with Stephen's band, he told Neil they should stick close to the same set list each night so they could fine-tune the performances. Mounting frustrations over this and other issues quickly brought things to a head, and Stills and the band arrived in Atlanta, Georgia to find a telegram from Young, who bailed from the tour, with a note that said, "Funny how some things that start spontaneously end that way. Eat a peach. Love, Neil." In 2014, David Crosby commented on the end of Neil Young's marriage, telling an interviewer that Young was hanging out with a purely poisonous predator, referring to his new girlfriend Daryl Hannah. Although he eventually apologized several months later, the damage had already been done, with Young telling Howard Stern that their working relationship had been irreparably fractured. 2015 brought about the end of Crosby, Stills and Nash. According to Nash, he and David had an onstage altercation during the band's tour that year. Later that same year, the trio received an invitation to perform at the annual tree lighting ceremony at the White House. The performance did not go well, and backstage, Crosby and Stills lunged at each other and had to be separated by management. So have we seen the last of Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young? Time will tell. Read more about the band by clicking the link in this video's description, and be sure to subscribe to this channel, your one stop for all of the best news and history of classic rock and pop culture.